Alright, guys. Let's do this thing. So, what happened yesterday was that I was working on the problem of the ranged attack. So, whenever I would try to do the ranged attack in Cyberpunk Red, if the enemy, if the defender, has a reflex of higher than 8, he can choose to attempt to dodge a bullet. Now, it wasn't working for whatever reason. Me and Olivier was here in the chat, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. It finally clicked that the way that I had it set up, which is how the developer suggested to have it set up, wasn't working because of something. So then the developer hopped on the stream for a second, and he said that it was a bug. Later that night, after I got off stream, he said that he had fixed it. So, let's see if it works. I shouldn't have to do anything. Well, let's just make sure that the code is what it actually should be and not the way that I had changed it to make sure that it was working. Okay, so you shouldn't need to be there. If anyone here has not, if you haven't seen this before, this is Criteria. This is the programming language that determines where's the rest? Hold on. I feel like I'm missing a bunch of stuff there. We're gonna exit and reload Criteria. Because I feel like there's things missing there. Okay. So Criteria is a nice little drag and drop programming language. It's been in development for like 5 years, as Paolo said when he hopped on yesterday. Where's all the conditionals? Something got deleted. Somehow. Because there should be a lot more down here than there currently is. Let's load the older version of Criteria then. How do I do that? Nope, not that. Nope, not that. There we go. Oh, I can't change the rule from within the thing? Okay. In that case, let's exit again and load the older version of this file and see if that has the right thing. Yes, it does. So, I don't know how I deleted all of this. Yeah, I don't know how I deleted all of that, but that's really weird. Like, all of this whole second thing is gone. That's okay. I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Which means I'm going to take a picture of it with my phone. And then copy from that picture. Dooba-dooba-doo. Okay. Okay. Now, let's fill this out in the updated version. I don't know how all of that disappeared, but that's why you do that. Wrong thing. I need to edit, exit, yes. Change rule, new rule, load file, yes. Edit map. Here we go. So, if you were not here in the last stream, basically what this is a virtual tabletop map builder. However, most map builders, or most virtual tabletops, are in 2D. Which means that, like, it doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like an actual video game with characters and stuff. But in this, it turns your tabletop game into more of a video game, which some people like the idea of and some people don't. So some people, I have heard some people say that, like, it's a tabletop game, they don't want it to be like a video game, they want it to be like a tabletop game. And I get that, but this is just cooler to me. So so that's why I'm working on it. Ranged attack, action. Now it's all there. I need to check this because I swear it was not there before. I swear this was not all here before. But unless, like, I just deleted the wrong thing. Maybe I did. Oh, no, I did. That was totally on me. That's what I did the first thing I did in the stream. So it's the other thing I didn't save it. Cool. So what I need to get rid of is actually already gone. I just wasn't paying attention. So let's see if it works now. So I choose the ranged attack. I choose the heavy pistol weapon. I want it to hit, so I'm going to add some luck to it. I need to select who I'm attacking. And we roll a d10. This might also, if it crits, we might also see if my crit information is working. And it crit, but it's not working. So it hits. I also don't know if I still have that active. So, okay, it hits. I will let him try to evade, which gives him a luck option to evade. Now he rolls for evasion. And it's a 2. So he hits. Boom. Cool. So, that is working properly now. Let's change his character value where he is no longer able to try to dodge. Edit his character sheet. Drop his reflex to 7. And then do the same thing, except that I need to add a weapon to his character sheet because I haven't fully filled out all of this stuff yet. Oh, I already added it. Cool. I didn't think it would save that, but it did. even better. So, range attack on that guy using the SMG. Now he has 3 pistols. Not what I meant to do, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if he hits or not. I just want to see if it brings up, or if it skips the... Actually, I do need to see if it hits to see if it's doing something weird. Okay. So something's still weird here. That's fine. Let's figure out what it is. Oh, I didn't have the crit information in this, so that's okay. So, if the enemy ref is greater than 8, greater than or equal to 8, then it runs this, which it did last time. If that is not true, which if statement is this? If this is not true, else, so this needs to be down here, else okay, now it should work, I think. So let's just double check this. Also, this little size adjustment thing is also new. I asked if it was a possibility, and he threw it in here. So that's great. So, range attack. Everything up here has been working. This is where things started to get weird. I believe I just had this in the wrong else field. So... which version am I in right now? I think I'm in... Hold on. I need to double check that. Yes. Okay. So I'm in the most recent one. Good. Okay. Let's try you again. Range attack. SMG. I want it to hit. Select the enemy. Hit. Cool. It didn't bring up the damage dice, but I think that's because I didn't include those in the thing yet, which is good. That's not what I've been focusing on. But this is the melee attack. The melee attack is the core thing that has been working, so I need to grab this weapon info and put it into the ranged attack for a couple things. And I also need to throw... Let's do that first. Let's just do that first. If the attack hits, then we roll weapon damage. Weapon is the weapon input field. And what this little node does is looks at the weapon and sees how many d6s to roll, how many damage dice to roll based on that weapon. And I need to do that again down here, because again, this is rolling in case he can dodge, and this is rolling in case he can't dodge. Weapon is the selected weapon. Range, I still don't know how to do range yet. That's a future problem that should be pretty easy to apply once it works. Once it's all set up and I understand how it works. Cool. So let's do it again. And before I do it, I actually want to throw in here the exploding and imploding dice. Needs to go into the merged info. I don't remember what I put for the reason. Oh, I didn't put it there. Oh, because I had put that in the skill check. Okay. So the reason's just going to be attack in this one. Well, maybe that's why it's not working. Exploding, importing dice. Ah, reason is text, not integer. That should help with some things. Okay, back to the ranged attack action. Exploding, imploding dice, merged info. Reason. Attack. And then all the dice rolls need to be that merged info. Get rid of the old dice rolls because I don't need them anymore. Parameter, roll result. Same thing for the next rolls. Ah. So like I said, this is an alpha. This is an alpha version of the game. Which means that it's still a little buggy, a little jumpy, a little glitchy, a little rough. That's okay. Let's see if it works. So this should be testing the apply damage. So hopefully it'll bring up the correct number of dice for an SMG. Which I think is 3d6. Two d6. Attack luck, I do. No, we're gonna leave it at 0. Select the enemy. Roll the d10. That's a new error. Now it's keeping that up there though, so that's a weird. I can't roll for you. Oh. Oh. Glitch. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna save it. I don't understand what just happened though. I stopped paying attention and forgot what I was doing. Sorry. My fiance is texting me. Okay. When she responds, I will see. Oh. Roll result. Okay. So that one might be on me. I don't know why. Something else that I should do once this is done is generate a new character sheet. Make a new character so I don't have two of the exact same characters fighting each other. And then it'll help me figure out some of the other things. But it is glitching right now, so I need to save the criteria and then exit. Because I'm kind of soft locked, actually. Which is a good bug. But I don't know, but I'll have to clip this and send it to the dev. Okay, so does that fix it? Nope. I do just have to exit the thing. That's interesting. There might have been another way around it, but that was the fastest for me. All right, let's try it again. You shoot that guy. With an SMG. No luck. Roll for attack. I don't know why I'm rolling this now. Oh! Yes, I do. Okay. Because I still have this roll dice up here, which I do not need. That makes sense. Reason, roll for attack. Oh, because I have multiple merged info sections. Ah ha 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 ha. That's not what I want. Roll for evasion. So you go away. Oh, did it work? I think it worked. In that case, my nose is running. Okay. So, I need to change this to be... Okay, so this is where it's going to start getting a little confusing. Because this... I need two of these. One for the attack roll and one for the evasion roll. I think. No, I don't. That's the attack roll. So this should just be the evasion roll. One second, folks. I need to route something for... Because I should really put that in there. If you did not know, I have a Tesla. And my fiance needs to take it somewhere. So I need to route her because Teslas, I love it a lot. I like my Plop you over there. Give you something more interesting to look at. And then be back shortly. All right. I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we are back to Multiverse Designer. Okay, what I just determined was that I need to, since I have two, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. Because I have two merged info sections, I need the correct merged info in the correct place, I think. Okay. So let's delete them. And make sure that we're adding the right things. So this first merged info, which rolls for attack, needs to go there. The second rolled info, merged info, that rolls for evasion, needs to go there. Now for the second one, this roll needs to be the roll attack okay. And then if that one hits, roll damage, and if that one hits, roll damage. Okay. This might start getting confusing. He said that nesting action steps and merged infos can get a little tricky, so I hope I'm not like just destroying this thing. I also am gonna real quick tell him I found a bug. I had forgot to set the roll result parameter for one of the merged info expressions. So criteria failed, but it didn't exit the action, so I was soft locked. I will post a clip later. Okay, so again, SMG, no luck. Let's just see what happens. Select that person. Roll. Hit, because he can't evade. Roll the 2d6. Nice. Let's look at the journal. Okay. Rocker Boy range attack. Roll the 5. Handgun skill of 6. Stat of 8. I want to flip this order if I possibly can. Equals 19. Range DV is 15. Hit. Roll damage. 10. 10 damage. Because he doesn't have any armor. Is yours... Oh, okay. Cool. So that all worked. I want to change... This is something completely different. Yeah, I just want to change the order. Easiest way to do this, drag you to there, drag you to there, drag you to there, get rid of that. Okay, so now that order should be, I think, different. So this is the stat plus the skill plus the luck gives you the value. Okay. Let's run it again. Shooting with an SMG. That guy. Let's make him... Oh, dang. Let's give him enough reflex to dodge. Ranged attack, SMG, accept. That guy, accept. Roll. Now, he is going to... No. So something didn't work that time. It's not bringing up the enemy input field again. Unless I forgot to save the character. So let's check his sheet real quick. No, I did change it back. So, it should have worked. If that is equal to that, then enemy input merged info let's try again. So he is the enemy. So because the reflex is 8, offline creator I got a bug. I got the little yellow words. Okay, this part was working, I thought. But let's... Maybe not. Let's see this. Okay, so I'm consistently getting that. And that time it didn't even bring up this actor input. So that's not the problem anymore. It's giving me an error, but I haven't seen what it said. Okay, let's run it again. And I'm going to pay attention to what it actually says this time. Aw, I'm going to miss, but that's okay. Now it's not doing anything. Ranged attack on you. Your reflex. Give me a good sheet. Your reflex is 8. Which means that I should get that option. Dang, I'm gonna roll a bunch of crits now. I thought it worked for like a second though. But now I don't remember. Okay, well, let's save this. Let's load the older one before I started working on any of the crits, because maybe that's doing something weird. Let's make sure that this is looking like what I want it to. Input. Yes, dice result deviation. Cool. So this shouldn't crit. So let's see what happens. Oh, what's your... Just make sure, because I loaded a new thing. Just make sure your reflex is 8, so you should have the option to evade. You do have the option to evade. So something with my new merged info is being weird. All right, let's look at this action real quick. So we've got the actor input, the roll dice. The roll dice we get rid of and add the merged info. If this is true, then enemy input gets this option and then rolls dice. But none of this comes up. So this is in the resolution of the first one. Okay. Let's go back to the other one. Ranged attack, actions. Okay. So we got the actions. No dice roll, because dice roll is now here. In the resolution, you have this GM input, or enemy input. Once again, no dice roll. Which is so interesting. So in my last save, before I tried to implement the merged infos, it was working. But when I use the merged infos, it stops working. I may have them in there wrong. So I'm just gonna real quick save this one. This is the one with the merged infos. So, real quick, upload. All right. So this is probably just me not fully understanding how the merged infos work. But I'm not sure what to do about that. The other thing that I said I would do so in the description for today's goal, I put debug the exploding imploding dice info and see if the dev fixed the bug found in yesterday's stream. He did fix the bug found in yesterday's stream, and that is the that was the inputs not showing up from the last save. So when I pull up the old save and it works, that was the bug that he had found. Now we have a new problem with these merged infos not doing what they're supposed to do with those inputs. However, that wasn't the only debugging that I wanted to do for the merged the crit dice. I'm going to rename this to crit dice. Because the journal isn't journaling where it is supposed to. Like none of these journals are being displayed. I'm sure there's a better way to do all of this too. This works. At least like functionally. Again, it doesn't journal what I want it to. But So the problem is that each action step could create a new journal. And the way that... So the skill base does the journal the way that it's supposed to. But it's also called as an expression, not as a merged info. I don't understand how the merged info journals work. Because you see here, this journals... I just don't really understand how merged infos work, like behind the scenes. I think if I understood that better, I'd be able to figure out what I want to do. But merged infos are a very new thing. As in, like, he came up with them and added them to the game like 2 days ago. So Do I even need a value? Can it just be the symbol? No. I do not need a value here. So what happens? I'm just gonna make test is valid. Because this is the one that works. So when I do just a basic skill check for whatever, it's not contested, DV of 8, whatever. Got a 1. Perfect. Got a 1. Roll for the implosion. So he's certainly going to fail that test. So it brought up oh, that time it worked. So it's got okay, well hold on. I don't actually know how I fixed it, but okay. So roll the d10 for concentration. Crit failed. Roll again. 8. So you have 1 minus 8. Oh. It's just doing them in a different order than I would prefer. Okay. We are back to it. So it worked. It worked that time. I would just prefer it to be in a different order, which might just kind of be whatever. Like, I don't know if there's really an option. I don't know if there's a way to change that. Because the way that it calls the stuff, so it's a skill check. So this is the roll for the skill check right here. What it does, skill input field. So this is where I choose what they're rolling. I just thought about like if a player clicked that, if a player clicked skill check, that's a future problem, I think. Because right now, the way that I have it set up is that if the... Right now, essentially, the way that I have it set up is that the GM's the only one who can call for a skill check. But if the player wants to initiate a skill check, I don't actually know what would happen. But that's a future problem. So, skill input field. So that's where the GM inputs the skill. Luck input field. That's where the actor, the player, inputs their luck, if they want to use luck. That plugs it into the info skill base. And there's that. That makes sense. Oh, actually. Wait, I might be able to do exactly what I did earlier, where I just swapped the order. Crit dice roll result. Info. So, that might work, actually. Let's try that. Save. We're working with the crit dice, so that's going to be in 2025.4. Exit. And I can delete that action, actually, because it doesn't, I don't think I had to do anything. No. Bye-bye. Okay. Skill check. DV of 8. Concentration. Let's see if I get another crit. No. And so what it shows is what it has been showing, which is the roll plus the stat plus the skill equals the total of 13, DV of 8, so it succeeds. I like this layout. What I'm hoping for is that it'll show this first roll, and then all of this, and then the crit roll. But we shall see. I'm just going to keep running skill checks until I get a crit. This is what a lot of yesterday's stream turned into as well. Yay, okay, so, explosion. Well. No, it's still doing it in the same order. But that's fine. It is annoying that the journal isn't working the way that I want it to, though. But it might also be because the role has its own the role has its own thing, and I'm trying to essentially change what the role's journal is. What I could do, though, if that's the layout that it's going to be, I could do a plus or a minus for this icon. That's not what I want. Should I have like an add? No. Some. No. Well. That's okay, I guess. It is resulting in a journal that I can understand. So it's got a roll of 10. It exploded with a roll of 2. So 7 plus 2 plus 10 plus 2, 21. This was a crit fail. Get a roll of 1. Minus 8. Plus 7 plus 2. How is it doing the math? This is one thing that I've actually noticed, kind of interestingly, in Cyberpunk Red and the VTTs. I've only used like one. But when I've played, the way that we usually do it is you don't add the 1. So if you roll a 1, then the 1 kind of cancels out, and you subtract your next roll from your base. So a normal roll, if you don't know how the rule system, a normal check, like what I was just showing, like your basic skill check, is your stat. So like your ability, like strength or dexterity or reflex, your stat level plus your skill level. So that's like concentration, evasion, handgun, things like that. So those two numbers added together plus whatever you roll on the D10. If you roll a 10 on the D10, then you roll another D10, and you add both of those rolls together. So it essentially becomes D10 plus stat plus skill. But, and technically, if, I think, if you take like as like strict rules, then if you roll a 1, so a crit fail, I think strict rules, or rules as written, it would be D10 minus D10 plus stat plus skill. So it would be your stat level plus your skill level plus 1, because you rolled a 1. So plus 1 minus the second D10. That's not how I've played in person. The way that I've played is, like I said, the 1 just cancels out. So it essentially just becomes stat plus skill minus second D10 is essentially the way that I play. Which, again, I think is not rules as written, but I mean, the 1 just kind of cancels out. The 1 is more of an indication of what you do rather than a value to actually add in the way that I've played. That's not the way that I have it set up in here. So I think in here, it is just adding, so 7 plus 2, 9 plus 1, 10 minus 8 is 2. Yeah. So that's how it's doing it, which is fine. Again, I think rules as written, that is technically correct. It's just not, it's easier to just kind of ignore the 1 than, yeah, it's easier to just use it as an indication rather than a value. Okay, let's try this range check again. I still don't understand what it's doing or why it's not working now. I'm sure it has to do with this. I'm sure it has to do with the merged dice, or the merged info. I don't know why that would stop it. But I do have 2 different merged infos within a nested action step. So, but I've given the dev both of these files, the one where it works and the one where it doesn't. So, let's hope that he can figure it out. Next step for me for today. I figured out what I figured out a way that I like to show the journal, which is fine. Next step, fill out the range DV table. Okay, so tables, I haven't really talked about tables much, but tables is just a lot of data that you can then pull from to do different things. Yesterday I talked about the skill table, or I talked mainly about the weapon table, I think, which is this. So it's got all of the weapons, it's got whether or not they're melee, it's got how much damage they do, things like that, rate of fire. It's got a bunch of stuff. This you can then pull from in other things to not have to input that data. So for example, my action, the weapon damage action, or is that an info? I think it's an info. Yeah, my weapon damage info uses this weapon table to, it inputs what weapon you're using, and then it goes down to the damage field and takes that amount, and that's what you roll. So it knows that because of the damage. What I had not done yesterday, range DVs. The reason I've been using the SMG is because that is the range that I had inputted. But I need to put in all the rest of them. And again, I don't know how to actually determine range in the game yet. It's not something that I know. I don't know how to do distances. But I can fill out the table so that when I do figure that out, it will have all of the values correct. I think it's the same as the no, it's not. Oh. 15, 20, 25, 30, 30. And then any further than that, you're not going to hit. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but I've just been setting it to 100 because you're not going to hit that. I don't even know how you could possibly roll 100. Even rolling 30 would be dramatic. You would need, like, if you were going to roll a 30, you would literally need like your stat and skill would both have to be at least 6. So then you would have a 12 base, and then you'd have to roll a 10, and then you'd have to roll at least an 8. So obviously there's a few ways around that, but that's really high. Okay, SMG. Let's double check the SMG range. 15, 13, 15, 20, 25, 25. 30, 100. Cool. Shotgun. This range for the shotgun is for shotgun slugs. I haven't really started doing anything with the types of ammo or anything. It's in the table for the weapons, but I haven't tried to figure out any of how it works. So, shotgun slug. We got 13. 15. This is actually almost the same as the pistol. 30, not 30, wow. 20, 25. It's almost identical. The only difference is the farthest range. 30, 35. That's the only difference. Not gonna hit. Not gonna hit. Assault rifle. We've got 17, 16, 15, 13, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Sniper rifle. Very bad up close. 30. Oh. Ah. 25. 25. 20. 15. 16. 17. 20. Oh, that's weird. That is very interesting. Okay. If you have your cursor in something and then you click to another one, it leaves the cursor in the thing, which is just interesting. Okay. Bows are similar to SMGs. We got a 15, 13, 15, 17, 20, 22, not applicable, not applicable. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to shoot a bow 200 yards out, yeah, that's going to be not possible. Grenade launcher. 16. 15. 15. 17. 20. 22. Not applicable. Not applicable. And the rocket launcher. 17. 16. 15. 15. 20. 25. Nope, that should be another 20. 25. 30. And now my stream says that it's not getting enough data. Which is odd. It looks fine to me. Yeah, so it's fine. Odd. Okay. So now the range DVs are fine. Once I understand how distance works and can actually figure out range, then it'll be cool. Okay, next thing. Next goal for the day. So range table done. Next goal of the day, track luck. Track the luck. So in Cyberpunk Red, you have a luck pool. You've seen me use it to debug stuff, just to make sure that a character wins or loses, and that's exactly what it's for. Every character has a luck stat, which is just like their strength, dexterity, whatever. They've got a luck stat right here, and that value is a pool of points that you can use throughout a session. If you are like a really high pressure, like let's say that you had to take a pistol shot from 200 yards, like we were just saying, not even possible. Like I said, the only way that you could possibly roll, well, let's say 100 yards, because that's the DV of 30. And what we said was that the only way to do that is if both of your stats are high, and then you roll essentially 2 10s, which would be hard. Like for example, if we're doing handgun, which I haven't rolled recently, but if we're doing a handgun and I can do the pistol now, that is going to be dexterity plus your handgun skill. So dexterity is 6, and this guy's handgun skill is also 6. So this actually is kind of perfect for what I was just saying. So that means that he's got a base of 12, which is good. I mean, a base of 12, if you're standing like right in front of someone, so like where they actually are right now, you got a DV of 13. So you got a base of 12, which means that you need to roll a 2 or higher. Your odds are really good that you're going to hit the person. However, if we're shooting from the 100 yards away, then we've got a DV of 30, which with a base of 12 means that you've got to crit, so you've got to get a 10, and then you've got to get at least an 8. So you got 12, roll a 10, that's 22, roll at least an 8 to get the 30. So let's say that you have to. For some reason, you have to take the shot from that far away. Don't know why, but let's just say you do. So you've got to take the shot from that far away. then it would be not a bad idea to throw some luck into that. I mean, the odds are still really slim. You have to crit, but that's when you would use the luck. So right now I have the option to use luck. However, I do not have it currently attached to the luck stat, nor do I have it affecting the luck stat. So right now I could put any number in the luck and it would work. But that's not how luck works. Luck is limited by the stat. So I need to figure out the best way to do that. The best way to track that and to what's the word? Damage it. I don't know if I need to make that an info or not. I probably should. And I'm thinking that the best way to do that might be to change this caption. So instead of just saying like luck question mark, like do you want to add luck, showing how much luck they have. So to do that, I'm probably going to need to do a string concatenation. I'm going to need another value. Oh, well, I need to actually add another thing first. So, I need a main stat. Main stat. I would need to swap these. And I need a new one. Well, that didn't work. Okay, so that needs to go there. This is going to say luck remaining. I'm going to caps it because stats are always capped. I don't need that one. What? Blank. Luck remaining. So what this little thing does right here, the string concatenation, it basically will take whatever value you're putting into it and add text to it, or turn it into a text string. So we need the luck with damage. Cool. So now when it pulls up I am going to make a new save for this. Because we're changing something that will affect everything. So, right now it's not doing anything impressive. Right now it's just cancel this, skill check, JCK remaining, luck remaining. So it's doing something weird here. Well, it's saying luck remaining twice. And I thought I deleted that test. I did. So it's just still there. Gotcha. Because I haven't unselected you yet. There we go. Okay, let's look at that, because that's being weird. Actions. Main stat, luck. Oh! I need to pull the value. I need to pull the value, not... Gotcha. So I might have to use the section stat? Nope. So I need to get the value from that, though. Not... Because basically what it's doing right now, it's returning the field name of luck as the string. And I want it to get the value of luck. What does this do? Not anything that I need. Actually, oh, whoops. Oh, well. Well, all right. Well, I don't know how to grab that, but that's okay. What I need it to do if they use luck, which gets plugged into the skill base info, If it's greater than 0, then do that. And I don't know what get damage does, but we're going to try to do that. I don't think that's what I'm trying to do. Well, add damage is a command, which means it has to be over there. Let's look at how I use the add damage over here. Do I have to make an apply luck damage here? Because this just returns a value. Within here, I could also okay, that might work. So, what we just did, we've got the, so this is the skill. So, so what have we got in here? We've got, this is the skill check, which again is stat plus skill plus the d10 plus whatever luck you choose to use, if you have any to use. This inputs the skill, which is an input field from the skill check, from the GM. Skill, it goes into the table field, determines the stat. Main stat is the corresponding table field. It then takes that value and adds it. That's just the journal keeping track of things. Then takes that value and adds it to the skill, which then adds it to whatever luck, if luck is greater than 0. So it's going to return that value, and then it's going to add damage to luck. And if it's 0, then it should be nothing. Let's try it. Okay. Let's just do a skill check. I don't know why it's saying luck remaining, luck remaining. Because it should only be saying luck, luck remaining. Let's say remaining and see what happens. Okay. Cancel. Skill check. Now it says 0 remaining luck remaining. So I'm confused. But anyway, we're going to say he's got 6 luck. Let's just use like 2. DV of 8. Accept. Roll. 2. Good thing we use that luck. Use 2 luck. Update. Error info criteria rules. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But it didn't work. That is, I do know that. Because it should have dropped his luck to 4. But it clearly did not. It is still 6. So it was in here. Skill base. Add damage. Field luck. Value. Whatever the luck value is. Let's add an if to it. Let's add it in the right place. It's going to be this exact same thing. If luck is greater than 0, then add damage to luck, parameter value like of 2. Let's try that. I thought that it would just know, but maybe we have to do that. Okay. Skill check. Let's add 2 luck again. Actually, let's add 3 so I can differentiate them in the thing. DV of 8, accept, roll. 7. That one didn't even say that I used luck. Did I not hit enter? Maybe I didn't hit enter. Let's try again. Maybe I just didn't hit enter. We want 3 luck. DV of 8. Accept. Yeah, now it's not saying that we're using luck. So how did I break that? Oh. Ha 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 ha. Because I moved it. I meant to copy it, but I moved it. Alright, let's try again. 2 luck, not 21 luck. 2 luck at a DV of 8. Accept. Cool. So it shows it. He just uploaded a new tutorial video, which I will watch at some point. What I need to understand is actually, let's try to understand what he just posted. It says creating virtual fields.
Hi, I'm Paulo from Chupan Games, and in this class we will learn how to parse a table and create virtual fields and use those fields to implement actions in the game. We will start implementing the attack action. I've imported this weapons table here, and you see that it has some fields which are not exactly ready for gaming or for use this in criteria. For instance, we have a damage field here, which says not only the roll dice for damage, but if it's piercing and bludgeoning and so on. We will learn how to split this into 2 virtual fields in order to use these virtual fields with programming. The first thing we have to do is to create a table operation.
This is the first time we've used table operations.
We'll call this damage. It usually is the same name of the field. You have to choose a field to parse in this operation. Please remember, we are parsing the damage field, which has a roll dice here, a space between them, and text here, which is repeated. See, slashing, bludgeoning, piercing, and always a roll dice here, a space, and a text. Now, we click here, it opens our usual programming window, and we will use the parsing nodes to do that. We use the parse single node when we already know the number of fields we want to extract. For instance, in this case, we know that we want to create 2 fields, one for the roll dice and one for the type of damage. There are other situations when we have multiple fields to parse, and then we will use the parse many. But so it's here. It has an input, and the input is from here. This will give you the exactly field that is in the table. This returns a string with the field we want to parse. Then we add this token rule here to parse the string. Okay. Think of it this way. It's a field, a text field enters here and pass through tokens, and each token will extract some part of the string and left the rest to be parsed again. We have a string here, again I will go back there, that has this format. Okay? It has a roll dice and a...
Okay. That's actually really cool, but not anything that I need right now. I'm also not sure why you wouldn't just change your table. But anyway. Okay, so it's using luck properly. I need to... So I don't think I've actually shown you guys any of the demo. Maybe I have, I'm not sure. But in Multiverse Designer, there is a demo that is set up and can do a lot of things. We are going to use the demo's criteria to figure out what the heck I'm doing. So, this is what an actual encounter would look like if you knew what you were doing and was running this instead of... Oh, did I just like crush my frame rate? Yeah, it looks like it just... It looks like this is like wrecking my frame rate. Well, I'll do it quick and not actually show you what's happening then. I need the apply damage. Okay, so this is... Criteria rules. I don't know what this means. I'm just going to turn that off for now. Sorry, guys. I know that this is a very processor-heavy game. Okay, but I need the apply damage. Apply damage. So, add damage. Yeah, I don't understand what it's doing. So parameter 1 is integer, which maybe I don't have. But it just uses add damage. Whatever is being passed in through the parameter to the HP field of the enemy. And then it's doing a show results. This is not complicated, but I don't understand why it won't work for me. Okay. My frame rate should be better now. Load my test. Change the rule to the most recent one. Edit map. Okay. Apply damage info. It's literally almost identical. I don't need this though, actually. I can just do that. Oh, maybe that's what I can do. Okay. Let's try that. In the... Yeah, it's in the skill check action. I think. No, it's in the skill-based info. That's where I put it. Right. Add damage to the luck field. Luck is an integer. and it returns value. Let's try this. He's got a current luck stat of 6. Let's have him do a skill check. That still is wrong, but let's have him do a skill check. I don't understand. It says 0 remaining luck. Remaining. I don't understand how that works, but we're gonna say 2. DV of 8. Except roll the dice. He got a 3. The journal shows. The journal shows that he rolled a 3, that his will stat is 7, which is correct, that his concentration skill is 2, which is unfortunate, and that he used 2 luck for a total of 14. The DV was 8, therefore he succeeded. Now if I update this, info criteria rules not found in rule. I need to ask what that means. I keep getting the info criteria rules not info criteria rule not found in rules. Message. What does this mean? And how do I stop it? But let's see if the apply damage is working. Luck doesn't matter here. Should be able to evade. Or not. Oh, right, because that's not working anymore. So it says 14 damage. And it says 31 health remaining. Okay, so did that work? Give me your thing. No. So that worked. It did all the stuff right, at least. Apply damage. It ran all the stuff. It just didn't actually add the damage. Maybe I need to do it to the right person. Let me check your stats. Still doesn't do anything. Let's run it again. That time, it didn't actually do the thing. And that's like, just do not understand how this works. No, this should be different math. Okay, so I don't understand how this one worked, but this one didn't go through the whole thing. Let's do it again. Hello. Okay. I do not understand. I always go away as soon as a viewer shows up. I apologize for that. I don't understand what is happening right now. So, hello, one current viewer. I'm trying to figure out in this new tabletop game, this new virtual tabletop, why the math isn't working. This math worked correctly of the first time I did the check, but for some reason now it is not working. Apply damage. Ah, okay. Oh. Bye. Okay. Parameter damage, or parameter value, is damage, which is being passed in from the weapon damage info. Dice result minus SP is the damage, which is correct. So then, should apply damage to the enemy well, I'll just keep it unchanged. Add damage to the HP field of the amount of that damage. Show results, blank damage, which is it was doing. Wait, that is very bothersome. I want to get rid of that. It's here. Why is it doing that? Unless... Wait a second. Unless it's doing it and just not showing me where I think it should. Well, that's wrong. What? The range DV isn't 0 anywhere. What? That should be 100. Unless it just means that, which I don't understand why it's doing that, but... Cancel. Out of deck. Skill check. 0, test. Luck. Remaining. Why are you doing that? I don't understand. Skill input field goes up there. Zero left. Okay. Okay, let's use this guy then. Because I don't think we've done anything to this guy's luck. We haven't been using him to test the checks. Well, I guess we did use it a couple times. But let's just see what happens. Skill check. It still says 0 left. Info, criteria, rules, not found in rule. I don't know what that means. Alright, we're gonna exit out here and then look at the demo. Because I do not understand what is happening. and my frame rate is going to drop, but that's okay. Okay, there is a criteria rules info here. Character. Main stat, table field. So, rules is another thing over here. I do not know what it means, though. Or what it does. Yeah, so rules, I think rules is going to be the easiest way to do like the role abilities. Because that is kind of like race traits from what I understand of D&D. Might also be the easiest way to do other things that I've done so far, but he hasn't done a tutorial on rules yet, so I don't know how to use them. But it sounds like I need or it looks like, based on that error that keeps popping up, I need a criteria rules info. I don't know what to do with it, though. So, well, I'm going to add an info called criteria rules. And it's not going to have anything in it, but it's going to be there. Okay, now I can load my test, change rule to most recent, CPR test, edit map. Info criteria rules not found in rule. Okay, so we've got game mode, criteria, info called criteria rules. There's not going to be anything in it. But it's there now. I mean, it's just like this criteria initialization. There's nothing in it, but maybe it just needs something. Maybe it just needs it. I'm gonna try it now. Again, maybe this also might be useful. I'm gonna make a new character. New character. And it's gonna be a what's another easy one? Alright, Rocker Boy was just first, so I did it. Let's do a nomad. This is just using the fast and dirty, or the not the fast and dirty, the street rat method of getting stats and stuff. So let's go with 3. So that means we got 5. Reflex of 8. I don't want another reflex of 8. Reflex of 7. No. We're going to do the other one. We're going to do 6, 6, 7, 5, 5 tech, 7 cool, 6 will, 7 luck, 6 move, 8 body, 4 empathy. Dang. Okay, we're making a nomad here. Let's go with the same one. We got 5s. So in skills, this is going to take a second. Okay, yeah. So he just answered that. Yes, I really just needed to add an info called that. I don't. He said it's for the rules thing, which is for later, which is fine. It was just I don't understand why it was saying that when I'm not doing anything that has to do with rules, but that's okay. So we got. Oh. I did that wrong. I was doing the wrong thing, but 6, 6. Deck should be 6. Tech should be 3. Cool should be 6. Will should be 7. Luck will be 6. Move will be 7. Body will be 7. And empathy is still 4. Which gives you a humanity of 40 and an HP of body of 7, will of 7, still 45. Now we got skills. Nomad skills. I really need to sort these alphabetically, but sorting is not something that it can do yet, so we're just gonna have to go through it like this. Athletics 2, brawling 6, concentration 2, conversation 2, education 2, evasion 6, where is evasion? Evasion, evasion. There it is. First aid of 6. Human perception 2. That's fine, I'm not gonna use it right now. Perception of 4. Persuasion's 2. Stealth is 6. Animal handling is 6. Drive land vehicle is 6. Handgun is 6. also 6. So I can't find handgun though. Hello? Tracking is 6. Wilderness survival is 6. Tracking, trading, and handgun are all 6. Tracking. There's handgun. Trading. Okay. Weapons. Weapons. You're going to get a very heavy pistol. You're going to get a... heavy melee weapon. And then armor. You've got light armor jack. Okay. Save character. Nomad template. Nomad template. Cool. Exit. I'm going to turn you into a nomad. Load character. Cool. Let's have you attack. Ranged attack. Very heavy pistol. No luck. Shooting you. Sure, run a mirror. I have a lot of key -1. I don't understand what that means. Table. Range DV. Oh. Yeah, that's fair actually. CRB for MD. Weapon type. So the range. So I need. Theoretically, I could do what he was just showing about the whatever it's called. Excuse me. Parsing the field to make a virtual field of pistol. For all of the... That might actually be exactly what I have to do. Or I could just make a range type field and then change all of the other ones. range type. And the options are pistol, okay. What is assault rifle for? Or assault rifle? Relevant for all of the melee. Okay. Save. Now, this is a known bug. But I also need to adjust. Is it in here? Inventory field, range type. There we go. So now that should work. I still don't know why the table's being weird and doing it like that, but I can't get it to change. So oh, because this should be a multiple. That could actually be a table. Oh, no it can't. So this is just a... What did I just do for that other one? pistol, SMG, shotgun, assault rifle, sniper rifle, grenade launcher, rocket launcher. Should be 8 options. Pistol, SMG, shotgun, assault rifle, sniper rifle, grenade launcher, rocket launcher, bow. Boo! And it's doing that again. Why is it doing that? Stop it. I don't understand. I'm not saving that. I'm exiting. Gotcha. Kind of. Yeah. finished watching whatever that new tutorial was.
Text and a space between them. So the first string will be parsed as a dice roll, okay? And the second string will be parsed. I will put another token rule here. Will be parsed as letters. And I will put in the always ignore field a space. Let me explain. The always ignore field kinds of jumps every character that is here. For instance, if you put A here, he skips all A's in the string. In this case, we just want to skip the space between the roll die and the text. Let's review this. This is not common programming. The field enters here. It has, for instance, 1d6 piercing. He enters into this token rule, and this token rule will extract the dice roll from that string. So it will retain the 1d6 and will pass along a space and piercing. And this will ignore the space and add all letters to this token. It's good practice to name it just to help you, but it's not needed. But I will put here row just for organizing things and kind. Then we use the create field to create the virtual fields. The first field will be the damage roll. It will be a text. And the value will be exactly what has been parsed in the first token. Okay, roll token. Then we'll create a second create field. The field name will be damage kind. Data type will be text. We will drag the second token here, and we have the kind token. This parses the string and puts the rest away. So this parses the dice roll. Remember, 1d6 piercing. This retains 1d6, and this retains the piercing, and it jumps the space here. Okay, there's a space here. And now we create two virtual fields, one with the damage roll and one with the damage kind. We are finished here. We'll go back to our table editing, okay, and we have this button, apply operation. This can be used several times. Each time you create a new operation or change an operation, you will reapply all operations in the table and create the virtual fields. The idea is for the virtual fields to be created from the operation, like this. Click here, it creates virtual fields, damage roll and damage kind.
Cool, actually.
Here, we have damage 1d8 slashing, and now we have damage roll 1d8 and damage kind slashing. Separated and ready to be used in the game. We created criteria for tables to be imported exactly as it is in the pen and paper rules. We create criteria to use tables in the best possible way, just like they are in the pen and paper rule. And most of the time, they don't have the columns exactly as we want it. That's why we need a parser to separate things in a way that we can use them.
Yeah, okay, that would have been very nice to have as, like, way a long time ago. Because I mean, if you look at my table here, this is my weapons table that I put together based on all of the things that I thought that they would need. So it's got the weapon, medium pistol, for the one that we're looking at right now. we've got whether it's melee or exotic. Well, whether it's melee or ranged as a Boolean, and then whether it's exotic, which means something else. Then we have weapon type. We have the skill that it uses. We have the damage that it does. We have the standard magazine. We have the attachment slots, rate of fire, how many hands it takes, if it can be concealed. I don't even know if all of this is something that the game can use, but just things that I thought would want to be their own thing. Analyze time. Because like you can't use rifle ammo in a pistol. You also can't use very heavy ammo or very heavy pistol ammo in a medium pistol. Ammo options. Pistol, which I didn't need to do manually. Fire modes, which is like whether it can have like suppressive fire, or just a single shot. Bonus, which is like an excellent quality weapon, gives a +1. Requirements, there are some big weapons that you have to have like a body stat higher than X. And then package, which is just what I'm doing to differentiate between like the core book, the core rule book, which is CRB, and then the expansions. So that is cool, and that is good to know. I don't know if it's very helpful for me right now, though. Well, it might be if it can. If it can parse enough to get rid of medium and keep pistol. So let's explore that, actually. Spelled it wrong, that's okay. There we go. So, what did he do?
Fields we want to extract. For instance, in this case,
Parsing. Parse single. Input.
is from here. This
Input. Weapon type. Token rule. I don't think this is actually going to help me. Because I need it to differentiate between two different words, which I don't think it can do. So, back to the tables. I like the idea, and it will be helpful for some things, but not for what I have right now. Oh, this is what I should do. Weapon type for all of them, and then use that as range type is from table, range. Yeah. Bow, pistol, shotgun. I'm gonna redo all of this, but that's okay. I need to get my GM screen. Pistol, shotgun, SMG, assault rifle, sniper rifle, grenade launcher.